Good evening, Facebook Live. Apostle Terrence Lyons of Ecclesia Ministries here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, bringing you tonight's Bible study again. So, pray that your week's been good. Pray that everything's been as you have desired, and know that in some cases it hasn't went like some would like it to go, but it's all good. We can make things happen for your good. So, bringing you tonight's Bible study again. Good evening there, sis. Good evening there, Overseer Melissa. Pray that everything has been good for everybody. We're going to stir up some heavy stuff tonight, because we got to get us to a place to where I know the kingdom's going to shift for a lot of folks. So this is one that I've been trying to get to a place of fullness in, because desire is something that, again, it's not taught a lot about. A lot of people think that feelings and desire is interchangeable, but they're not. They're two separate things. They're designed to work together, but they are two separate things. And that's why I'm wanting to make sure that we are crystal clear about everything. So, good evening there, Apostle Laura. Good evening, my brother Leo. So, I'm sure you've noticed the question there. Do you have the faith for what you desire? Do you have the faith for what you desire? And that's it's not a loaded question. It's a question that everybody needs to know how to answer, though, because what I'm finding in a lot of cases is there's people that they'll pursue stuff, and then once they attain it, yeah, they don't even know how to maintain what they attain. So we're gonna deal with some stuff there. It's gonna get tight tonight. So I'm letting everybody know early. It's gonna get kind of rough. I'm going to go ahead and take me a sip now. I'll probably have to take another one later, but and I love you. I'm throwing that blanket one out there, so if I forget while we're rolling, just know I did say it. So I want to start out in the book of James chapter 4, verse 3. Book of James chapter 4 and verse 3. And that's where it says, "Ye ask and receive not, because ye ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lust." So I want to start out with this thought process to help you understand that there's nothing wrong with desiring what you desire unless it's not in alignment with your purpose. Nothing wrong with desiring what you desire unless it's not in alignment with your purpose. And that's what James is addressing here, is he's saying, you asking, but you don't receive because what you asked for really didn't line up with your design. So you've got to make sure that your desire aligns with your design. Once your desire aligns with your design, then you'll only be asking for and pursuing what it is that fits your design. And that's vital. Now, what happens is sometimes you're shortchanging yourself. See, because I know some people that have, they get upset, get distraught. Well, I don't feel like I'm asking for much. I don't feel like I'm asking for too much. Well, that might not be in alignment with your design. It might not even match what is in alignment with your design because it's too low. Good evening now, Pastor April. It's too low. And since it's too low, that's still a miss. So whether the miss is you wanting to use it for the wrong reason, or because it's too low, or because of whatever, this is what you got to understand. That's still a miss. It's not in alignment. So when it's not in alignment with your design, now what you desire, watch this, cannot be granted to you because it don't fit who you are. So the truth is, some of y'all been asking too low. Just putting that out there. Because design is waiting on desire. Okay? Your design is waiting on your desire to match. And the issue is because what James is stating here is he's saying you ask and receive not because you ask amiss, that you may consume it upon your lust. So it's more about you than it is the kingdom. It's more about you than it is the kingdom. And that's where the issue starts to happen. So to go ahead and get towards some stuff, because again, do you have the faith for what you desire? To go ahead and get to this next place, I want you to see something. So I want you to go to the book of Luke, chapter 11, verses 21 through 23. This is one of the scriptures that I had you to look up from Saturday. And again, I apologize for the sound debacle on Saturday. We got it straight. We're going to make sure I get my cues right. That was all me. I take responsibility for it. That was me. So I want you to get this. So in the book of Luke, chapter 11, verses 21 through 23, the game's about to get tight. I'm forewarning you. Luke chapter 11, verses 21 through 23 says this. Oh, we finna stir up some stuff here. We finna stir up some stuff right here. Luke chapter 11, verse 21 through 23 says this. It says, when a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. But when a stronger than he shall come upon him and overcome him, he taketh from him all his armor wherein he trusted, and divideth his spoils. He that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth. Woo-wee. All right. I love y'all. I promise I do. I love y'all. But this right here is where it's about to get rough. Faith is a full-time job that should build maturity each time it's used. Faith is a full-time job that should build maturity each time it's used. Okay? The reason that's so important, and I need you to get this, right there in verse 22, when it says, but when a stronger than he shall come upon him and overcome him, he taketh from him all his armor. Now that's vital. That's vital. See, because What what some of y'all done? I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. But some of y'all, you've protected your stuff, but you lost your armor. You protected your stuff, but you lost your armor. See, when you protect your stuff, but lose your armor, eventually you're going to lose your stuff too. See, because look at verse 21. It says, when a strong man armed keepeth his palace, his goods are in peace. You remember I talked about that palace on Saturday. See, what I need for you to understand about this is you've protected the stuff. You know, Lord, I'm believing for this house. All right. You have faith for that house. You get that house, and then all of a sudden, you ain't got as much time for God. All of a sudden, you ain't got as much time for you. You use faith to get that relationship. The relationship happens. Then all of a sudden, you ain't got time for God. You had, watch this, the faith to start it, but not the faith to keep it. And that's why I need for you to understand that some of y'all protected your stuff, but you lost your armor. You protected the house, you protected the relationship, but you lost your armor, which was what got you what it got you. And see, this can be health, this can be finances, this can be position, this can be relationship, this can be possessions. It doesn't matter. Faith is a full-time job. But the key is you need to be building maturity every time you use your faith. And that's very important. And that's why I need for you to understand this, because as we look, because remember the question, do you have the faith for what you desire? Do you have the faith for what you desire? I'm going to ask that question a lot tonight, because as we're dealing with the times that we're dealing in, I'm realizing that a lot of people don't even know what to do to maintain what they have and keep their armor in place. So watch this. Next place I want you to go is 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 7. It's not going to look like this is tying into what we're looking at, but I promise it is, because it's a principle that I need for you to understand. It's looked at about positions in the church, but I want you to understand it from any angle of the kingdom. So in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 7, it's a very, very familiar passage. It talks about the position of a bishop. So watch this. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 7 says this. It says, this is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. A bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth his own house. Well, one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? Verse 6. Not a novice. Uh-oh. Ooh-wee. It's about to get tight in here. Not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without, lest he fall into reproach in the snare of the devil. Why do I want you to understand this passage right here in conjunction with the question of, do you have the faith for what you desire? See, in verse 1, it's saying, if a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. It's saying, so what he's after is not bad. It's not a wrong thing. But here's what I want you to get. When it says, blameless, husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, good behavior, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, no striker, nor not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous, one that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? This is one of the reasons why we never pursued growing ecclesia ministries while my children were growing up. It's one of the main reasons. That was me. I'm not telling anybody else what you should or shouldn't be doing. You need to be doing whatever the Lord told you to do. But that's why I was not trying to push growing ecclesia ministries while my children were small, while they were still in school, while they were still in high school. Wasn't doing it. Why? Because I didn't want to take place with them what took place with us growing up. We didn't have a lot of time to be kids growing up because of the church life that we had. And I resented it. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm telling you the truth of where I was. I resented that. So the first chance I got to not be in the church, I wasn't in the church. I was running the streets. Wasn't thinking about no church. Because I'm like, I'm not seeing how this works. I'm not seeing how this fits life. I'm not seeing how this is enjoyable. I'm not seeing any of that. So first chance I get, boom, I'm out. So I was. Ran the streets. Yeah, did some stuff. Anyway, the thing I want you to get is that I didn't have no discipline at that time for sure. I was wilding out. Now, here's what I want you to get. The fact that says, if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the church of God? Not a novice. So in other words, not newly planted, not a rookie. See, because there's a lot of rookies trying to run grown folk stuff right now. Whether it be family, whether it be church, whether it be business, there's a lot of rookies trying to run grown folk stuff. And it's ugly right now. It's ugly in a lot of places right now. Because when rookies try to run grown folk stuff, they get ran over. That's just the bottom line. So the fact that it says, not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride. When Proverbs tells us pride goes for destruction. This is what you got to understand about this. Because now is where it's about to get tough for tonight. See, when it says, not a novice, lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without. So in other words, the people outside of the church should have a good report about the people inside the church. the people outside the church should have a good report about the people inside the church. But we all know that report ain't too good right now at large. As a whole, that ain't too good. And a lot of people have tried to put, well, you don't need to be getting along with everybody. The world don't. If the world is likes you, then you ain't doing something right. You did. That's not saying you need to go along with everything that the world's doing. But this right here is making it crystal clear that there should be a good report about the people in the church. But one of the biggest places that there's a lot of trouble is, well, when you go out to eat. Church folk go out to eat, and I've had waitresses say this. And them church folk are mean. They don't tip. Does that sound like a good report? Does that sound like people that you want to be interacting with? They don't care for the servants that are serving them. They don't take care of those things in a good way. Why would I want to interact with that? You talking crazy to me. You're not treating me any different than anybody else. So if you treat me just like everybody else, why would I want to come to church with you? Why would I want to do that? And then the only tip you're going to give me is, the Lord bless you. The Lord keep you. Come on. And then wondering why don't nobody want to have nothing to do with the church at large. Got to fix that. Got to fix that. Because as long as you keep talking crazy to them, I don't care how holy you think you are. I don't care. All right. I'm going to have to go on and go off in here. I'm going to have to go on and nose dive in here. So, I've watched some people that I knew with the church just be outright crazy to some waitresses. And I had to catch those waitresses and say, look, apologize for their actions, because everybody ain't like that. Now, y'all know I don't dress like I go to a regular church anyway. Y'all already know that. So the only thing, somebody might catch the cross around my neck or whatever. But in most cases, I don't look like I blend in with the church anyway. Whether it be from what I drive, from what I wear, from whatever. So the thing is, we've got to make sure that if that's what you're going to represent it, right? Come on. Because all you're doing is making other folks' job harder. Go write, bless the Lord on the receipt in the tip area. Come on. Please. Stop that mess. Here's what I want you to understand, because this is why I'm fixing the nosedive in the stuff. Because I wanted to touch that with not a novice on purpose. Faith will never replace maturity, especially when it comes to your desire. Woo-wee. Faith will never replace maturity. Ever. See, that's why I wanted you to see this verse, because this passage, because it starts out talking about one desiring the office of the bishop. Then it gets down and it says, not a novice. See, faith is what you have to start out with. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Without faith, it is impossible to please God. So the faith is the start, but the maturity is what maintains so that you can guard your goods. The maturity is what maintains so that you can guard the goods, so that you can guard the palace. So that once everything is set in place, now I can guard what I used my faith to get. I can guard what I used my faith to get. Can you guard what you used your faith to get? You used your faith to get that relationship. Can you guard it now? You use your faith to get the possessions. Can you guard it now? You use your faith to get the position. Can you guard it now? I'm going to touch on that a little bit more here in a minute, but I need for you to understand that faith will never replace maturity, especially when it comes to your desire. Because see, when it comes to your desire, now, watch this, at some point, feelings have to mature so that they don't fluctuate anymore. Feelings have to mature so that they don't fluctuate anymore. See, that's why y'all riding this roller coaster with your feelings about a position, about a relationship, about all of the things. You riding a roller coaster because your feelings are fluctuating, because you haven't matured concerning your faith yet. Here's why I want you to get this. Faith will never replace maturity, especially when it comes to your desire. So watch this. Now I want you to go to Matthew 8. Matthew 8, I just am not finna act right. Matthew chapter 8, I want you to look at verse 11. But we're going to look at verses 5 through 13 as a whole, because I need for you to see something about your faith. Yeah, about your faith.